Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dugs on Twitch. Back today with 5 Color Humans, which is a legacy deck that's based around the human archetype, popularized by Eddie Remora. You might have known him from a few events on camera and a few really good finishes online. You might have even seen the deck last weekend at Eternal Weekend with Brian Koval taking the deck to a pretty good finish. I think it was 5-3. So really cool to see there. The deck is a little bit like Death and Taxes, where we do have some disruptive elements in Thalia, Sanctum Prelate, Mother of Runes, if you wish, Wasteland as well. But it also runs a huge humans package that can also be found with Imperial Recruiter. So running extra sort of Meddling Mage shenanigans or Kitesail Freebooter to really make sure that our opponent is not being able to do anything that they want from a strategy perspective, and trying to just take them off that strategy for as long as we can, while we have sort of a really good beatdown strategy as well, with Champion of the Parish and Thalia's Lieutenant getting sort of your creatures out of removal range or in a position where our pressure's just going to out-exhaust the amount of time they have to actually adapt and put together a strategy that might be able to beat it. I think the deck's really well positioned. I think it's really fun to play. I've gone through a few leagues with it, with pretty good finishes. I think 2 3-2s and a 4-1. And it's really just getting used to the deck and knowing what you want to do when you have Vial and 2, which creature you want to put in. Do you want to put it in sorcery speed and name something with Meddling Mage? Do you want to put it in instant speed and take something with Kitesail Freebooter? It's a really fun deck to play. The Tomiks I really enjoy right now, especially with Depths doing so well. Tomik, of course, stopping Thespian Stage, but also stopping Vampire Hexmage, which is really nice. It also stops Ren. It doesn't stop Ren from ticking up, but it does stop Ren from ticking up and getting a land back. So that's a really good little interaction. And just being a 2/3 body as well that you can save with Karakas because it's a legendary creature is really nice. So the main differences that I have from Brian Koval's deck is, instead of the 2 Reflector Mage in the main deck, I have 1 Deputy of Detention and 1 Charming Prince. So Charming Prince is a card that I've really enjoyed. The Scry 2 being really nice, especially in a Vial deck where you're probably wanting to know what you're drawing into. And if you have Horizon Canopy, you can kind of set up a play where you can kind of play with the top of your card of your deck as if it's in your hand, which is really nice. That's pretty much it. We're just going to take this through a league and see how it goes. For those of you who would like to purchase any of these cards, you can of course get them through Card Hoarder, who sponsors the channel. You can find my link below to get those. Or also, if you're in Australia, you can get these cards through MTG Made, which is an online store that sponsors the channel. You can get 5% off singles if you use the code DOOGS. There'll be a GP Brisbane, or Magic Fest Brisbane as it's called, which should be pretty fun. So definitely check out those guys. A huge thank you to both of them, because I wouldn't be here without them. So that is it. Let's get straight into a league and see how we go. Play points is always nice. And straight in. I might just close some of this stuff. Nice. So yeah, humans are definitely on the up and up, which is nice. I've been really enjoying it. I know there's been a few people kind of diving into it online, and it's getting a little bit more popularized, which is nice, because Eddie, of course, has put so much into the deck, and so many sort of really popularized it to bring it forward to actually being a pretty good competitive list. So we're up to match 1, which is really nice. On the play against Sing 1923. Interesting. This hand is pretty good. It's missing a blue source for the Meddling Mage, but going Champion the Parish into Tomik into Prelate is pretty nice. So I'm going to keep this. I think we can definitely draw into one of our 11 Rainbow lands. So 4 Cavern, 4 Unclaimed Territory, and 3 Ancient Ziggurat. Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn pass. Interesting. Recruiter. I think I want a Karakas here over the Horizon Canopies. I like the Canopies to stick around from like a Wasteland, because later on in the game, if we do start just drawing an abundance of land, we can actually cash these in for hopefully spells. So I'm going to lead on the Karakas and cast this champion. If we're playing against a Delver deck, I also have the option of keeping the Tomik around until my turn 3, playing around days, but also removal, so I have Karakas open. Brainstorm, okay. So this kind of... An early Brainstorm kind of makes me feel like they kept a hand for something like fast combo. Maybe not a hand that has a lot of removal in it, to deal with my early pressure. So this Brainstorm is going to help them a lot with kind of resetting their hand and obviously maybe trying to deal with my opening threats. Freeboot is interesting. Of course, we can't cast it yet. So I'm just going to cast this Tomik into a Daze. It'll trigger the champion if it does resolve, which is nice. So doing a pre-combat is definitely relevant. Could definitely be Sneak and Show. You know, usually from a Delver start, you see either a turn 1 or turn 2 threat. This is game 1. Force Pitching Spell Pierce. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's a lot better to think it's Sneak and Show than a Delver deck. You're definitely going to be less surprised when something big happens. So, to Jack and Graham, welcome. Hope the Melbourne scene is doing well. Hope you guys are looking forward to coming up and playing Legacy in Brisbane in a little while. Yeah, I'm not sure why the Force would happen there on Tomik. Maybe they could see it as potentially as being too much damage pre-game, but especially as it adds the 1 to the champion. Preordain. They are looking after me. So I really like the draw of Charming Prince here, because I want to put this Prelate on 3 because we can stop Show and Tell. We can also stop Cunning Wish if they play it. We could put it on 4 if we were really scared of Sneak Attack, but I think from what I've seen so far, I'm going to put them on Sneak and Show. I could also just name 1, which I don't mind. I think 1 is great against both decks, so just to make sure. We also have the Charming Prince to reset it, of course, hopefully, so not looking too bad. Sneak's in an interesting position. I saw that there was a stat from the channel Fireball Open where classic. So what do we want to do here? What do we really care about? So I think it's Emrakul. I think we put in Meddling Mage and name Emrakul. Because we can't stop Omniscience, but we can stop Emrakul. We can kind of stop Grizzlebrand because of the Karakas. So I'm going to put in this Meddling Mage. They put in Omni, so what I'm really scared of is Emrakul. Aeon's Torn. They only have 2 cards as well, so they can't have Sneak Attack and a Lotus Petal and something else. Grizzlebrand's actually not too bad. They can't draw, because this is going to be lethal in the swing back, and we already have the Karakas. So unless they can draw into a win this turn, maybe they could draw into Lotus Petal and Sneak Attack and a creature. But it would be pretty tough. So they're going for it. They could Wish as well if they are playing Wish. Well, there's Petal. Show and Tell. I think it's Kitesail. What does Recruiter get me? I guess Recruiter gets me Deputy of Detention, but that isn't that great. It's just a little bit too slow. I don't think they're going to have another Show and Tell. So I think it's Kitesail and look at their hand. Okay, so a bunch of cards that they can't cast. Interesting. I guess we take a Ponder. Doesn't really matter. We nearly have them dead as well. So close. If we draw into a way to actually pump, like Thalia's... I mean, like, yeah, Thalia's Lieutenant just does it here, but that doesn't do it. So we need to return the Grizzlebrand. They can block a creature like the Champion, and then take 2, 4, 5, going down to 1. Yeah, I mean, I guess we... So we know the hand as well. We know the hand is Ponder. We took a Ponder, Preordained Land, Emrakul. Okay. So looking at that, if we bounce the Emrakul here, take 7, they gain 7 going to 13, but then we swing back for 2, 5... Hey, ask for Alex. I will. Thank you very much for the follow. Let me know how you What do you play in Magic? If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? This is interesting. I'm gonna actually take a quick screenshot and then make a play because we need to do something here. And I think it might be just play the Charming Prince, maybe Scry 2. I'd love to draw into a Thalia's Lieutenant. I think that changes things a lot. Thalia and Kitesail aren't the greatest, so I'm going to put them both on the bottom. And I think we just pass. There's nearly a world where if they attack with both creatures and we keep the Karakas and Champion and a land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close. It's so close to just taking the... Oh, we're on 15 as well. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Ha. So I want to bounce in combat so that they can't play a sneak attack in the pre-main phase. We can block here, but I think it's better to have the creature. I guess sneak attack's pretty rough because in our turn they have access to 3 red, so a single Karakas doesn't do anything. And there's a sneak attack. It's a tough spot. Show and tell, we will show and tell in Imperial Recruiter. I think it's Deputy of Detention that we get, even though we don't have access to the blue mana. Could also get Thalia's Lieutenant. I think Thalia's Lieutenant's actually pretty good. Although they most likely have a counterspell, I think we have to draw into Cavern of Souls. I mean, Palace Jail is another option if we draw into a land, but I think Lieutenant is probably the best. So I think we take Lieutenant, and then if they have a Grizzlebrand for the sneak attack, they can block, and then we can return with Karakas, so they can't actually use the sneak attack multiple times to try to get back in a Grizzlebrand that has lifelink. So Cavern's what we really want here. Thalia. I guess we try. Oh, it's gonna trigger. Interesting. So now we attack with everything. They block with the Grizzlebrand and then we can bounce it. Because if we bounce it before blocks, they can just... I hope they don't have like Cunning Wish for Trick Bind or something. Ooh, what are they doing? But now they can sneak attack in, sure. Grizzlebrand, sure. That does nothing, right? There we go. Okay. A nice little win there. Really nice. So I think Tomix can come out. I like Containment Priest. I like Meddling Mage. I like Deputy. I like Knight. I like Revoker. Orzhov Pontiff can come out. Reflectors are pretty good. I kind of like Jailer a little bit more. I'm not sure if that really takes the same spot. I think we can take out the champions as well. As good as they are in the early game, we're definitely going late-ish. The other Prelate. The one thing I don't like about taking out the Hierarchs is that I'm bringing in a lot of 3 and 4 drops, which I don't want to rely on just casting them on turn 3 and 4. I think I'd much rather have the Hierarchs and then use them to hopefully get out some early hate and just pressure out my opponents. I'm at 60 right now. It's the Reflector Mages that I'm thinking about. It might even be like cut a Vial and a Hierarch, just one of each. Maybe the Mother Runes don't do a whole lot. Maybe it's something like this. Yeah, Mum might not be worse than Champion. I mean, Champion provides a really nice early clock. And to be fair, I believe most of their removal isn't going to be much. If anything, it's going to be Pyroclasms and Kozilek's Returns, which usually don't really have an effect on this sort of deck because of the Lieutenants, because of the Champions. So yeah, I don't mind this. I'm just going to go ahead with the 60 and we'll see how it goes. I'd love to see either a Vial or a Noble Hierarch in my opening, which we do, but we don't have a green source. So I'm definitely not happy keeping this. I'm not a big fan of keeping a one-lander that doesn't have a way to actually put out something like a Mana Dork, so we're going to mulligan this. This hand's actually great. It's a one-lander, but the Cavern's really nice. So I'm going to keep... and I'm going to bottom... I think it's the Imperial Recruiter. Because the Thalia's Lieutenant applies pressure and kind of helps out with Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. So I'm going to bottom the Recruiter. I don't want to be cut off with too many 3-drops as well. I think a Braid's definitely a card I should look around for as well. A Braid seems great against this matchup. Especially because 2 isn't something we're naming with Prelate. Deputy. Alright, let's name Human. And see if this Vial resolves. Which is huge. I really need this Vial, and they're going to force it. Which isn't too bad. You know, a 2-for-1 you can't be too sad about, so... Interesting that they kept their forces in, but I guess they didn't see Cavern. So we do have another 20 lands in the deck. And we'll get there. I guess we kind of want to show and tell right now. Deputy of Detention is actually a great card to have around for show and tell. But this is what happens when you're greedy sometimes. You just gotta roll with it. Yeah, the double fetch there looks like sneak attack. Like, we can't even draw land and Phyrexian Revoker, which is pretty rough. Haha! Alright, the clock's online. But sadly, this looks like it might be over before it even began. To be fair, they might not even have a creature, and it looks like that is the case. So, a little bit of a a start for us. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can pull it off. Oh, still nothing. Well, right now it's a 16 turn clock, sure. Another sneak. Okay. That's kind of rough because I guess Deputy of Detention does deal with them both, which is nice. Cavern, alright. Well, let's name Wizard. And I think now, because Thalia's not doing a whole lot, I might actually want to cast Thalia's Lieutenant to get in more damage. I guess it adds an extra 1 this turn, but if I play Thalia and attack next turn, it adds an extra 4. So maybe the play is just Thalia. I'm trying to splash Blue and Maverick, including the Deputy and a Meddling Mage and Oko. Local receiving, we'll see how it goes. Hey, that's very cool, Alex. Let me know how it goes. I don't know if you're on Twitter, but I'm on Twitter. Or if you're in the Discord, definitely see how it goes. Oh, maybe I can't actually use that mana. Interesting. Sorry. That's a pretty basic error. Oh my gosh. Terrible. Terrible. Human. There we go. Okay. Third time lucky. I don't think there's like a mind game where they have like a Grizzlebrand and they were waiting for me to attack in. But that would be pretty funny. I actually had a blue list, Alex, put together. And I wasn't sure where I saw... Oof, looks like another miss from my opponent. Where I wanted to put Meddling Mage, I wasn't sure if it was better just to put another, like, Canonist or Thalia. That's what we want. That is pretty awesome. So Wizard, let's go... Oh, we still don't... Oh, we do have the mana. We can go blue, white, 1. That's pretty brutal. Oh, it's very cool. Yeah, Oko seems pretty good. Not gonna lie. Nice. Now we have a 2-turn clock, which is really nice. I mean, my opponent's in a pretty bad spot, which is pretty rough for them. I mean, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. And in a sort of 2-card Monty deck, sometimes you just don't have that second card. You don't have the creature, but you have all the ways to put it in. And that's just how it turned out. So, pretty unfortunate, but we will definitely take that win, which is kind of nice. It's always nice to start off with a win. I think Humans has a pretty good matchup against combos, so... Thalia won that match. Yeah, I kind of feel like Whiffing won that match, so... Yeah, but the blue splash is interesting. I'm assuming you're playing Bant, but would you be playing, like, Leovold as a Green Sun's target, or are you not because you don't have the black in the mana base? If I play Leovold, I really like playing Flusterstorm because of the interaction there when you play against, like, Storm. But, yeah, I can definitely see why no Leo. It kind of sucks when you have it in, like, your opening hand, or you draw it and you know you can't cast it. Unless you have, like, Birds of Paradise or maybe Gilded Goose. But if you're playing Gilded Goose, I'd be very interested to see, because I tried out Gilded Goose a little bit, and without extra ways to create food, there were times where it just wasn't good enough as what it was there to do in the deck. But Yeah, I think Goose seems really nice. It's a great blocker. And this being a mana dork that isn't an X1 is really nice. Nice. I like the 5 mana dorks because with Oko you really want to cast it turn 2. If the mid-range arms race pushes more Oko into the format, Storm sees an even better position than it is already. Yeah, 100%. It's a card that Storm really doesn't care about, which is pretty nice. Ramo, nice to see you. This hand's pretty nice. This hand's actually really nice. Tomik's great against some of the mid-range decks. Meddling Mage is great against combo. It's a Vial start with a Wasteland, so this hand couldn't be too much better. Ooh, Seat. Interesting. So I believe this will be an Urza deck, and I feel like I don't want a Wasteland yet. I would much rather get my Vial online and not show the Wasteland. This start as well, in case they like go off turn 2 if they can. I think this start doesn't give away that we're humans. It probably gives away that we're Death and Taxes, which is kind of nice. Inventor's Fair is actually a nice name as well, so that's not too bad. So let's tick this up. Kitesail's interesting. Hey, K988 with a 9-month sub. A huge thank you. That means a hell of a lot. So I hope you enjoy your badge. Hope you've been enjoying the stream. And I hope we do well for you because I will dedicate this stream to you. We're definitely wastelanding this turn. I don't think it's worth... I'd probably rather take out the Inventor's Fair here than the Sea. Although the Sea isn't just a mana source as a land, it also turns on Mox Diamond, which is relevant. I could have cast the Meddling Mage as well, but I think here we're just going to go after the Sea and pass back, holding up Noble Hierarch. Vault of Whispers, okay. This could be like a Baleful Strix? Chalice. A little bit late to the party, something we don't really care about, which is nice. So here we have a really nice interaction of being able to look first with Kitesail Freebooter and then name with Meddling Mage. So we'll play a land. I'm going to put in Kitesail off the Vial so that if they do have some sort of counterspell, we can also just take it. Baleful Strix, Chalice of the Void, Antiquities War. We will definitely take the Antiquities War. We know their hand. We don't really care about Baleful Strix. So here I actually just don't mind sort of running out my hand. Ah, classic. Classic. I was just putting it there for Scavenging Ooze down the road, of course, because humans play Scavenging Ooze. Let's just go ahead with... I guess that does kind of change things, because I don't really want the Strix... The Strix is annoying, but we do have Recruiter. They're a bit off Urza, which is nice. I guess we can name Strix with Meddling Mage and then name Urza with Antiquities War, if this is that sort of if this is this sort of deck. Let's go for that. Let's go for Meddling Mage name Baleful Strix. I mean, this is a beatdown deck in game 1, so this also means they can't actually just cycle it. Another Signet, okay. More than fine for us. Still know about these 2 cards. Looks like just another Chalice for 1, perhaps? Sure. Am I going to put this up to 3? I think I am. I want to be able to recruit probably in their end step, and that's like a great draw. So let's just go for... I guess I could go for the beatdown pen with one of these recruiters. So let's do that. Let's get Imperial Recruiter in. Let's go and search for Thalia's Lieutenant. Cast Lieutenant. Jack, I like your style. We will go straight in for attacks here. We might even have lethal next turn. Like with another Thalia's Lieutenant. Very close to it. They go to 16 this turn, and the next turn we attack for 2, 5, 9, 12, 13. Pretty close. 13, 14? And then it's going to concede. Okay. Is this a deck that plays Urza, or is it just a kind of Dimir Antiquities War deck? What do we like? Revoker seems great. Knight of Autumn seems great. Deputy seems great. Manic Vandal seems great. Prelate seems great. Palace Jailer seems great. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So, I mean, like, I think Prelate for 4 seems pretty great, turning off both Antiquities War and also turning off any sort of Tezzeret shenanigans. Yeah, the deck's really solid. I think it has a really nice mana base in the Unclaimed Territories, the Ancient Ziggurat, the Cavern of Souls, and all the creatures really help each other, which is really nice. So there's a really nice synergy between it. It's just a case of what do we want to take out, and I think it's cards like Tomik's not the greatest. Maybe Champion's not where we want to be against the deck with Baleful Strixes. I guess the Pontiff is kind of nice there, but maybe even Pontiff isn't that great, and Meddling Mage should be coming in, or... I mean, Bouncing Effects doesn't seem that great. I might keep in one Meddling Mage, Orzhov Pontiff, just to get rid of some things like Baleful Strix on the field. I think this is fine, and then if there is a third game, we can readjust, and hopefully after we've seen more of their cards. This hand seems great. We can't cast the Deputy until a few more turns because the Cavern's going to name Human. But both of these are pretty nice against this sort of deck. A Chalice would be really nice here. It's going to be a Signet. Okay. So I feel like the way I'm going to lose this game is my opponent playing another Soul Land and then maybe playing some sort of mass big drop. So I'm just going to actually Wasteland here. It does put us down to only 1 land, but we have 2 more draw steps to draw into a second land, which is really what we like. So this is a bit nicer. That's fine. Alright, Cavern, Human, Mum. Pass and pass. We also have Karakas if they do play something else. Antiquities War is tough, but we do have this Deputy or Knight, so... I think Mum's something we can probably drop as well. Sword of the Meek makes me kind of think that I should bring in the second Orzhov Pontiff. Right on time. This is a tough one. I think we have to name Wizard for this. so that we can hopefully get a chance to steal the Antiquities War. And we can still cast Thalia this turn, which is nice. And then I might even just attack here. I think it's a lot better just to attack than think they have something like Dismember or Fatal Push. I think damage is definitely going to add up in this game, especially with Sword of the Meek. If they get that combo online, then I really got to start doing something pretty great to get through it. Smooth tunes. Thank you very much. It's just the chill hop music beats 6. It's the full mix. Another Antiquities. Okay, well then a land here is just gonna be brutal because then Deputy of Detention really, it's really up to if we draw a land here because we need it for this Deputy, which is gonna deal with both of those Antiquity Wars. I think you attack with the Strix. There's no point keeping it back. Yeah. Nice work. Alright. Do we draw land number 3? It has to be a blue source or a white source. We don't. That's pretty rough. We're just dead? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're pretty much dead. If all the artifacts you control. Yeah. Tough. Let's concede. I guess we can wait one more turn and see what happens. It's funny that I spoke about the mana base being so smooth, but when you do have Deputy of Detention and Knight of Autumn in the deck that aren't humans, it can be pretty rough at times. I might as well see if they cast something pre-combat, just to see if we can maybe see a card that they brought in. Thopter, okay. Can we do anything? We can chump block and then try to draw land. I guess we can you know, we can play on. We can play on and see what happens. So we kind of have to block 3, or else the Baleful Strix by itself is a 3-turn clock. All of them are artifacts and colorless, so I couldn't even get protection with Mum, which is pretty rough. Up to Foundry, okay. Here we go. A little bit late, but let's see how this turns out. The Foundry is going to get rough. So here we need to name Wizard again. Do we need to name Wizard? We can name... Yeah, we do. Alright. 1, 2, 3... It is pretty good, and I think that's going to be game. I think I'd much rather try to squeeze out a win in my next 17 minutes. So I'm going to take out 2 mums. After seeing Thopter combo, I'm not sure if it's worth bringing in any sort of graveyard hate. I think it's worth just trying to actually hit the combo itself. So I'm going to drop down and actually just bring in more beaters. I feel like this is fine. The Pontiff is fine. We'll see how this goes. It's always an interesting deck to play against because I've never played against Tezzerator too much or Tezzerator type decks in paper. And I think that's where you really understand the feel for them. This hand's actually not too bad. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to start with a Noble Hierarch and keep the Cavern of Souls around for a little bit longer to see what we draw into. Ziggurat, okay. So this is definitely naming human. I don't think we need to name Baleful Strix because we have the Palace Jailer. I think I'd much rather go with... I don't care about Engineered Explosives because of our creature base. I think it's Antiquities War for now. Oh. Let's get that right first. The Antiquities War. And then I'm pretty happy to cast another Noble here. And then just pass back. Interesting. Artifacts you control have hexproof. It's not an artifact itself, which is nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest amount of mana cost, draw a card. Okay. I think the best card. I think the best draw is probably Wasteland here, or pretty close to it. I might as well play Ancient Ziggurat. Play Jailer. You'll both be the Monarch. We can luckily target this. And then we're attacking for 4 as well, which is pretty brutal. So we're not just attacking for 4 here, because the Ancient Tomb is also applying 2 damage a turn, most likely. So our clock's pretty quick. And to have these 2 as backup is pretty nice. I also like the range we have with CMCs, so something like Engineered Explosives isn't too much of a stretch. I think next turn, if we don't draw Wasteland, we're definitely sacking this Canopy to try to get into Wasteland territory. Because right now they kind of seem a little bit choked on mana, if anything. Always tough though. Meddling Mage is a really interesting card to play with because in the blind and on the play, you're never too sure when to play it. It's a little bit like Phyrexian Revoker. Tribute Mage, okay. See, this is great because Meddling Mage, we can just name what they get if it's going to be something that's backbreaking. Hey, Joanne, welcome to the stream. We're currently up a match with humans. and currently in a tight one where one game all against what looks to be a blue-black... Interesting, they did go Baleful Strix, and they're going to cast it here. Blue-black shenanigans. Canopy. I think it's correct just to get this Deputy on board, taking out the Baleful Strix. Unless we can draw into Orzhov Pontiff. Jailer can just attack. But I kind of want to put them in a position where they have to block with the Strix or get rid of the Strix because I don't want them getting the Monarch next turn. So I think I'm going to draw first. Lieutenant, interesting. Play a land. Cast Deputy. Take the Strix. Cast Noble. Attack with the Jailer. Do we really care about Antiquities War? I don't think we do, so I don't mind attacking with both here, because they're most likely going to block the creature as a chump block. That's going to be attacking in for 5. So I'd rather just get the extra 2 in. And then next turn we can just go wide with Thalia's Lieutenant. Because right now tapping out for Antiquities War isn't the greatest play for my opponent. We do have the Deputy, which blocks the Tribute Mage really nicely. But they're going to be going down to 6 if they use this Ancient Tomb. And I'm not sure if they have like an actual sweeper to use. Thopter, okay. Knight of Autumn's pretty nice. Knight of Autumn's pretty brutal. So we can get rid of the Thopter Foundry and make them actually use mana first. Because I can sack a few things. We can then cast Thalia's Lieutenant. So let's do that. Let's go for human. Oh, it's a knight. I could have also played Champion first. Destroy this. Only making 2, okay. That's actually quite nice for us. Let's go for... Champion first? I do like attacking with Noble, but I also like trying to get just a little bit wider, especially with these Thopters on board. Two mana. Oh, is this like Transmute Artifact? That's a sorcery, right? 2 blue. Echoing Truth. Interesting. That's fine. They will trade here with the Strix, which isn't too bad. Now let's pass back. So if they want the... At least they draw on their end step, which is nice for us. But if they want to get the crown, they have to attack with the creature, which means they don't have one more back. Sword's pretty good. But do they have Thopter Foundry? I guess they can't because they don't have the mana for it right now. Oh, now they could. That's fine. Can't do anything here. What do they have? Maybe they feel they can just get there? So this has got a hexproof. So let's just go wizard. I don't think we care about anything here, so let's just attack wide. They can block a 3/3 and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll be taking 2 anyway from Ancient Tomb, so I think this is just lethal. Yeah. Nice. The grindy ones are also always really nice to get. I think my opponent got pretty unfortunate there with just not getting the right amount of cards, or the right set of cards, but, you know, they're the wins that you take, so happy to be 2-0. Especially with humans. Humans is just such a fun deck. A really competitive deck, a pretty cheap deck. I think it's a great deck to port over from Legacy, from Modern. So if you do have Modern humans, it's quite easy to port into Legacy. There's not too many extra cards that you need that are actually expensive. I mean, you've already got the Caverns, the Aether Vials. Hey, Alex, thank you very much. It's always nice to be able to play well when the cards are kind of given to you. We definitely do pretty well there, so that's always nice. Yeah, it's really... Okay, so Wastelands and Imperials, which are what, maybe $40 each, which isn't too bad. So you're looking at... Yeah, maybe like 240, which is pretty good, especially if then you have a deck for both Modern and Legacy. QB should be a human, so it can be in this deck. Questing Beast, I wish. I mean, quarterbacks are humans, so it kind of makes sense. Playing against Alexei. I think we've played against him a few times, or them a few times. This hand's pretty fantastic. I'm going to keep this. A little bit weak to some of the Faerie decks. Something like Death and Taxes. This hand's pretty horrible. The Mother's nice, the Vial's nice, but I guess it's actually not that bad. I mean, they need Karakas for the Thalia, and if not, we have a first striking creature, which is nice, but probably where this is a hand that you kind of want against most combo decks. The one thing that I really like about humans is that it's a white-based creature deck that doesn't run any planes. So Massacre is actually quite hard to cast against it. Yeah, I think the only gotcha card that humans really has against D&T is Orzhov Pontiff, but with the recent change and shift towards X2s, it's actually not that great either. Oh, Mox Diamond, okay. They are down to 5 cards. So I think this Wasteland's going to play a big part in this matchup. If they have a Loam, it's a lot different if this is like a lands deck. Sylvan, okay, well, Sylvan Library's going to be pretty good. Now it's a case of what land do I want less out of these two, and I think it's going to be Horizon Canopy. I'm happy for that to get Wastelanded. So this definitely looks like a slow depths variant of the deck. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive they are with the Sylvan Library. They're gonna take an extra 2. Okay, it's most likely a land, and then either a threat or maybe a way to deal with the Vial if they want to Wasteland us. Could be Sylvan Plug. I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't also mind seeing Sylvan Plug. A very cool deck that I would love to get on the stream because I'm a big fan of any deck that plays 4 main deck Sylvan Library. Yeah, 100%. I think it's great to draw the extra cards there because they probably put us on a slower version of, or a slow creature deck. But I think Champion of Parish is probably the card that's going to get out of the hand the fastest. But in saying that, the removal is most likely destruction based and not damage based, so it's going to be probably a little bit easier for them to deal with a champion. It's interesting to see them actually bottom the Thespian stages. And they're going to port us. Okay, that's not too bad. So I wonder here, for us, if it's worth wastelanding their Wasteland now. If we Wasteland the Wasteland, we don't get taken off both colors the next turn. We could play Ancient Ziggurat and put on Mother of Runes. Put in, sorry, Mother of Runes. What is Plug referring to? The name Sylvan Plug actually refers to the creator. When he was in Paris, he was at he was near an art exhibition, and there was a massive sort of big green plug up on like sort of the top of the exhibition, and so he called it Sylvan Plug, which is pretty funny. I'm gonna Wasteland. I really feel like their Wasteland's a lot better than ours, so getting rid of it while it's tapped out seems like a little bit of a win, because even though we get ported this turn again, unless they find another Wasteland or something like Loam, we're going to be in a pretty good position to be able to actually cast something next turn. We haven't seen Loam yet. But Jack, I feel like you're jinxing me. Yeah, this might be a little bit rough. Sadly, Vial isn't even a great draw because of the Ancient Ziggurat. Let's go for... So Mum's better for protection, but Champion's better for getting a clock online earlier. But I think it's Mum. I think having protection's pretty nice. And it might make them have to kind of draw into another land this turn. But yeah, I think the biggest card here was Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay taking out the Aether Vial was huge. Pretty happy to attack. I don't think they would have kept removal on top. Yeah, it's very fair. I can definitely see why you'd go for protection. Pressure over protection. Especially in a deck that only does run another 18 lands in the deck, so you know, getting Wastelanded out is very true. Exploration's interesting. This could be like a lands variant that's just running main deck Abrupt Decays and Sylvan Libraries. So, although this game is over, I would much rather see more of what's actually being played in this deck, so that we can sideboard a bit better than just, you know, bringing in something like Faerie Macabre or Surgical. Oh, letting us draw. Interesting. Let's quickly name Life in the Loam. They could have also kept up crop rotation. Maybe that's why they didn't do anything, yeah. Alright. Sadly, we're dead. Okay. Prelate seems great on 2. Surgical seems great. Faerie Macabre seems great. Orzhov Pontiff doesn't seem that great. Tomik seems fantastic. We can't recruiter for it though, I believe. Oh no, with powerless. Okay, so it can be recruited for, which is nice. Meddling Mage is nice. Champions are interesting. Palace Jail is pretty good. Knight does seem really good. I don't think Revoker's worth it. It can name Mox Diamond, but that's most likely it. Maybe 2 mages is too much, especially if we're bringing in this much interaction for Life in the Loam. Deputy's nice. Maybe we drop the... Yeah, Kitesails actually seem pretty bad. And I think we can also cut Thalias. Or at least 3. So maybe the champions just come back. Because I think going wide is probably how we win this game, although something like Tabernacle is kind of scary. I don't mind this setup. So what I'm naming with Revoker is most likely Mox Diamond. They might have brought in something like... We didn't see any sort of red mana, so I don't think like Molten Vortex is in there, but... I think I'm pretty happy with this and see how it goes. We kind of have an answer to a lot of stuff. The only reason that I like Kitesail on the play... No. I'm not even going to say anything. Yeah, they could definitely have walkers. They could even bring in creatures like Tireless Tracker. It'd be interesting to see how they sideboard, or if we even, you know, see any sideboard cards. I'd love to play first. Hand's not the worst. Double Mum is kind of slow. The Surgical's okay. I think we're definitely the beatdown in this strategy, and this hand doesn't really... In this matchup, sorry. And this hand doesn't really make us the beatdown. Without the Surgical, it's pretty meh. The Mother of Runes are nice because of the protection, but if they're bringing in things like Tabernacle, I don't want to be wasting all my turns just on Tabernacle. I think I'm going to mulligan this and be pretty aggressive. And this hand's actually quite nice. So I'm going to keep this. And I think I'm just going to bottom... That's a tough one. I think I might bottom the... I think it's between Meddling Mage and Faerie Macabre, because they kind of do the same thing with Life in the Loam. And I think I'm going to bottom the Meddling Mage, because Faerie Macabre, we can do it instant speed. I kind of want to make sure I have access to lands. So I'm going to bottom the Meddling Mage. And then I'm pretty happy to lead on this. Naming Human. Field of the Dead, okay. Ooh, Reclaimer, okay. Reclaimer is going to be interesting. Especially if they have like a exploration to play another fetch land. Or just that. Ooh, another Thalia's Lieutenant is actually quite nice. Do I care about it? I definitely attack here. Especially getting the 3. I didn't realize it was 3. That's really nice. Hey, the Mad Hatter 86. Thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy, I'd be very interested to hear. Yeah, Fairy's a nice combat trick because we can shrink these Elvish Reclaimers once they become 3/4s. I think the best draw is probably Noble Hierarch or another Elvish champion, so that next time we can play 2 creatures and just really pump up our board. We might even be able to get them in a situation where they play a land and pass with the ability to make these 3/4s. And then we can play Thalia's Lieutenant, attack with both, and then if they try to like double block or something, and then, you know, make their guy a 3/4, we can actually just take out 2 lands. Nothing in chat. There's Dark Depths, okay. Pretty scary, but we do have Karakas, which is nice. Luckily, it's a land that doesn't really do anything right now. You play Maverick in D&T and Legacy? My man! Working on Jeskai Mentor, very nice. Unclaimed Territory. Okay, let's play Canopy. Do I want to risk playing Canopy? I kind of want to play the Unclaimed Territory and hold the Canopy so it can't get Wastelanded or anything. I'm just going to name Knight. No, I'm going to name Wizard. In case we draw into Deputy. Trigger this first. Name Rogue? I like that. I really like that. I'd love to name like Merfolk. Attack with all. Oh, I would love to see our opponent double block this and then try to make them 3/4s. That would be pretty brutal. Interesting. They're just going to not block. Oh, they are going to block. Okay. That's fine. field, get Verdant. Ooh, Elvish Spirit Guide. Are they going to crop rotate? For like a fetch land? I don't mind this. Even though we're most likely going to lose the Lieutenant now. They have to get I guess a Wasteland and take care of the Karakas. That's a pretty good line. Yeah, I think Wasteland's the play because it deals with the Karakas. It gives them an extra land in the graveyard, which pumps the Elvish Reclaimer back up to a 3/4. And then it also gives them an out to just now going for their Dark Depths combo. I did not expect Elvish Reclaimer in this. Sorry, I didn't expect Elvish Spirit Guide and crop rotation. I was not playing around Elvish. Ah, wow. Okay, and the Tabernacle. At least these can do something. So I can attack and kill one. But I think I'd rather just let them pay for their own Tabernacle. Unless they get rid of it in their end step. Which I assume they do. Yeah, I could have definitely kept back the Thalia's Lieutenant. Or killed the Thalia's Lieutenant. So I actually had a matter open to sack this Canopy to get an extra draw step. Which I think in hindsight is just the correct play. Yeah, you never expect the Spirit Guide. I wonder if they play around Wasteland or not. I'm going to draw a card first. I'm still my upkeep, my bad. Guess it doesn't really matter. I think we're dead anyway, because they most likely run Step, which gives protection from a color. But you never know. So if we draw Wasteland, that's pretty rough. Okay, we didn't. I don't think we have an out. Rough. Rough. But kudos to them. They played really well. Get lucky or not, yeah. Joanne, you are 100% correct. But yeah, pretty rough matchup. They got away from us pretty fast. I think we really need to go for the Tomiks early on. But I think we had a pretty good hand that we didn't want to mulligan away, so... You know, not too bad. It all came down to that Elvish Spirit Guide. Arkan, okay. Most likely on some sort of 4-color Mentor, or even Jeskai Mentor, so we'll see how that goes. This hand's fantastic for that. I'm going to keep this. Always with the Flooded Strand start. Ooh, Hex Drinker. Okay. That makes me a little bit more worried. I think I'm happy to throw... I think a turn 1 Vial is just so good that I don't want to wait and try to play around days at all. I mean, turn 1 Hierarch isn't too bad either. Do we have a way to get rid of Hex Drinker if it levels up? That's a tough one. I think we can like Imperial Recruiter in response for something like... Oh, surely they didn't keep a one-lander. Oh, Brainstorm locked. Wow, okay. Oh, okay, well, I know where this is going. Force negation, okay. It's pretty rough. So they put 3 back, so we have 2 more draw steps of just nothing from my opponent. Interesting. They're offering the trade, which I don't think is worth it, because we know that they're not drawing into land for the next few turns, so it's not really that much of a threat. So I'm pretty happy here just to... Deputy's kind of nice. I think I'm going to play Canopy, because I want to draw off Canopy next turn. Deputy is interesting. Oh, Palace Jailer actually off Imperial Recruiter is pretty nice. Yeah. That's definitely happening. Palace Jailer. Alright. Rough. That's really rough. This is an interesting matchup. This is an interesting matchup. What don't I like? I think I like Jailer and Prelate. I kind of care about Trinium Nemesis, but we have the Pontiff. I guess we could add in 2 Pontiffs. Reflector's really nice. I think we can probably drop on some number of Thalia, especially against this deck. Maybe even something like down at... Oh, Champion's just so nice, because if they don't have the Ren, it just trades so well for Hex Drinker if we're really scared of it. But it is a pretty bad top deck. Maybe I want to just Meddling Mage a lot. And a Deputy? Get really control-ish? I'm gonna see how this plays out. The Palace Jails are interesting because they can backfire on us, but I feel like if we start off with a Vial, like this hand is pretty nice. Then we can take them off some of their threats pretty early on. I mean, Vial looks great here because they can't actually daze off the Waterlog Grove, sorry. Wasteland. I'm going to go for Karakas into Vial. Probably getting a Volk. Tarmogoyf, okay. Goyf's not too bad. Kitesail. I think it's just Wasteland on their island and pass back. One thing Humans doesn't have is a really good way to deal with the graveyard. Oof, okay. I see what you're doing. I guess there's no point. I mean, I really like in Aether Vial decks to always activate Vial, but there's no real need here. Especially if they're tapped out. Unclaimed Territory. Okay, let's do we want to Kitesail now and maybe take a counterspell so we can land this Tomik? Or maybe take removal? I think we want to. Just to get some sort of information. Daze is a pretty nice draw take here. So take the Daze. And then we can turn off the Wasteland by putting in Tomik here. Tomik also a great blocker for X-Drinker. Unless they just tick it straight up to a 4/4. Which now they can't. Oh, they can because they've leveled it up already once. I think it's just going to be Prelate on 3. Oh, sorry, Prelate on 1. Hey, Yorg1234. Thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from. What you play in Legacy, if you play Legacy. To the player... the Mad Hater 86 in Sweden. What's Legacy like in Sweden? What sort of numbers do you get? Do you have like a weekly tournament, monthly tournament? Interesting. We could double block here, but I think Archon's too good for that. I think we let this slide. This most likely means they have a bolt, probably for Tomik. This is good magic. This is just like the best type of magic. Alright. Vial's going to 3. I think just putting it at 1 is just so good. Especially at instant speed. I mean, Recruiter's pretty nice as well. I believe we know about Spell Snare. I could get Reflector Mage. I could also get Palace Jailer and tick Vial up. If I feel like I can deal with other creatures. I think Palace Jailer is the get. I'm just wondering what we want to do this turn with our mana, and if we want to cast a Freebooter or a Prelate. And I feel like freebooting first gives us a better understanding of what we want to actually achieve. We know about the spell snare, of course. That's a really stupid play. That's a really stupid play. Ha. I don't mind attacking here, and then just holding up Imperial Recruiter. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Just gonna chump block. We do have Charming Prince, but no other way to actually flicker anything. Alright. This kind of has to go to 4, sadly. Reflector Mage. Okay, let's go... Kitesail. Just to see what they have. Wasteland, okay. And now we kind of have to take care of the Hex Drinker, sadly. And now I'm pretty happy to attack. Hey, Remix Ruby. Hey, Ryan. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you did well playing Standard. For those of you who are unaware, I believe Ryan is a Australian MTG pro who's played on Pro Tour, plays a lot of Standard and Arena on his channel, which is very cool. What have you... Pioneer tonight, of course. Okay. Pioneer seems pretty cool. What are your plans this year in regards to Magic? Either through streaming or playing online? Brainstorm, okay. Alright, let's see if we can get that land. This is definitely not ticking up anymore, so let's put that on always no. I mean, another Palace Jail would be pretty gas, but I think the best draw is a land and then Reflector Mage on the Goyf. Boom. Name human. See if we can get this down. Daze is pretty good. Do I want to attack? I think I do. Oh, they're gonna fetch. They're bolt as well? I guess they get back Hex Drinker. Ziggurat. I guess they're just fetching to get rid of those cards from the Brainstorm. Ponder's fine. They ponder with the Volk, so that makes me think that they either have a red source for Bolt or they're not thinking that Bolt's an out. We'll definitely block. Oof. Alright. Not where we want to be. see what's in the hand. Days, that's fine. Hey Ryan, thank you very much. I like your present emote. That's very cool. Rough. I guess we might as well cast this vial. There's definitely no great attacks. Our only out is Palace Jailer. Mum. They get the Hex Drinker back. Is there a winning line if we don't block here and we maybe draw into Thalia's Lieutenant? That gives us an extra 2 damage, which is 5. Still pretty rough. I feel like we have to. Yeah, if they take the Monarch, we definitely lose. Especially not having anything to put in. This is a pretty rough spot. Alright. It's funny how Goyf just was not playable for a while, and now it's kind of just the jam. Alright, so this one is fine. This one can tick up. Cavern of Souls. Alright, I guess we name human. Hey. Someone just followed me. That is rough. Deputy would be really nice. We're going to name one. I'm just going to pass back. Noble Hierarch. I guess we could have played Mum. Because now the Noble Hierarch we could have put in and actually kept the Monarch. Which is pretty rough. We can't even take this all. Goyf's a 4/5. And a Delver. Alright. Rough. Let's see how we want to sideboard now. Maybe the Kitesail is a little bit lackluster, but they're just so good in the opening. I think Meddling Mage is most likely the card that I want to take out and maybe get a little bit more aggressive with my champions. Hey, Graham, thank you very much for coming in. All the best for the week ahead, and I will see you back up in Brisbane when you're up for GP Melbourne. GP Brisbane. Or, of course, in another stream. I don't mind this switch. It's pretty basic, but I think it's pretty nice. Maybe I actually like 1 or 2 Meddling Mages, just because of how good they are. I think I'm pretty happy with... Jailer's really nice. I'm going to keep a Meddling Mage as just an Imperial Recruiter target. Because I think the rest is pretty good. Double Wasteland start. So if the Vial resolves, it's great. But if not, we don't really have a plan because we have to draw into a mana source. They don't have basics. That's pretty big. I think just because of how good this hand is, and because this is, of course, you know, if chat's saying keep, we'll keep. But I think in a real tournament for high stakes, I would not keep this hand. But I think as well, for educational reasons, it's great to keep it and see where it goes. So we're going to keep it. I think what I don't want to see is a force and then a fast Delver start from my opponent. I think that's what this hand is really weak to. Here we go. Spot check, spot check. Oh, oof. Alright. What are you fetching for? Delver? Okay, that's fine. That's going to be fine for us. Tick this bad boy up. Definitely Wasteland. Play another Wasteland. Pass. Yeah, I was definitely thinking about not playing Wasteland because it might make them just play something like a fetch land. But if we draw into another land, I'm pretty happy to play it. And I think they're in a position where they have to actually go about getting things online. That is very true. They could just play their Wasteland for this turn to deal with our Wasteland. I could block here with Mum, but because we have Kitesail Freebooter, I'm pretty happy to get this Mum online and then pass back. Another Vial's interesting. But I think I want to try to just keep them off as much mana as possible. They most likely kept this Ponder to flip the Delver. They chose not to shuffle. Okay, so it's definitely flipping. Oh, I could Kitesail them first. That's very interesting. I think it's the Bolt I care about. The Ponder's interesting. I can try to keep them off green mana, especially if they have another non-creature spell on top. I think I'm happy taking the Ponder here, and then maybe naming Bolt with Meddling Mage because I've already used a Ponder. I don't want to waste kind of a Meddling Mage on that. So we'll take the Ponder. We know their hand, so it's Bolt, Oko, Delver, True Name, Volk, 2, 4, 6, and we took the Ponder. So yeah, now I'm pretty happy. Maybe I want to play the second Vial. I think I do. Because I think I want this Vial to go straight to 4, and so I want to have another one ticking up so that it gets to 3 straight away. Oko's pretty good, to say the least. Two, 4, 6. So they do... No, they don't. They don't have the ability to Magmatic Sinkhole and Lightning Bolt this turn. We definitely just take this. Most likely see a Delver pass. Alright, so I want to keep one at 2. So this one's going to stay at 2. And this one will go up to 1. Canopy, interesting. I think we definitely need to Wasteland this turn because of True Name. We'll give protection here. I think because I wanted to name Bolt with Meddling Mage, what I should have done is just activated Vial, and if they didn't bolt in response, put in Meddling Mage, name Bolt, and then they have to use their red for Magmatic Sinkhole if they wanted to use it. Now, because I'm definitely not blocking one of their creatures, I'm just going to attack in here. No flip. Interesting. We'll take the 3. And pass back. Okay. Both of these will tick up now, for sure. Territory is not too bad. I don't mind just actually cashing this in right now. Hierarch, okay. So now I actually don't mind getting aggressive. They didn't play a land last turn. That's interesting. 4 cards. That's their hand. No, they drew a land this turn. So we actually, yeah, the Volk is gone, sorry. I think we get aggressive here. We don't bother about actually blocking. Yeah, let's attack in with Meddling Mage. No blocks. We'll put in Thalia's Lieutenant. We lose the race, but we have back Mum and Kitesail, which is nice. Renin 6. Okay. Probably just getting back a land, let's be honest. I mean, they could ping the Thalia's Lieutenant if they want, but then... Yeah, getting back a land, okay. Pretty big win for us. So now let's go... Yes. And I think we'll keep this one on 2 for now. Just to see what we draw into. Okay, that's kind of nice, but... Let's go... Noble first. Trigger. Jailer. Take the flipped Insectile Operation. Oh, the Orzhov Pontiff is actually a great draw because of the True Name in hand. I guess we just attack Rem with everything just to make sure it dies. Oof. I'm definitely putting that in now. Just to really try to constrict them. Okay, so they have a daze. Interesting. This might even just be lethal if we attack them. Oh, they get back a Delver, but that's fine because the Orzhov Pontiff is just such a great way to deal with it. Yeah, True Name, okay. Alright. So this one is a no, and this one is a yes. Alright. Oof. Huh. They can't play Daze either. Wow, okay. So let's go Thalia. Thalia's Lieutenant first. Pontiff is very sweet. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Bad luck to Arkan. I mean, that was some sweet games, but you know, the double Wasteland Aether Vial hand just really worked out, which is nice. Crazy. Crazy game. So we're 3-1, which is nice. Going into our last match to try and seal that 4-1, which would be pretty sweet. Being greedy is good on camera and on stream. Being greedy in tournaments is a little bit different. Let's be honest. I think Orzhov Pontiff there was just MVP. I don't think there's another card that really could have taken out of that sort of position. So. Snap keep double Wasteland hand vials. I mean, yeah, lucky they just didn't have something like a Ancient Grudge or some sort of removal like a Braid for the Aether Vials, but yeah, pretty happy with that. New London on top as usual, 13 trophies. Stiffer on JPA, Lewis CBR up there as well with 10, 9, and 8. Balan Siganan Boba, I believe his name is. That could be totally wrong. He's a really good Maverick player who has a few trophies with Maverick. For anyone looking for any sort of finishes, you'll definitely find Boba on MTG Goldfish under the 5-0 category. So what have we played against tonight? We have played against... we beat Sneak and Show, round 1. Really nice. We then got up against some sort of blue-black Tezzerator Antiquities War deck. We then went down to a lands deck that was interesting. It ran Life and Loam, Mox Diamond, and also Elvish Vision, Elvish Spirit Guide. We've been on the play for all of these as well, and it's not going to change with this game. The Magic Rat. Jack. Sure. Let's go ahead and see how this goes. I mean, we're gonna be we only have one vial to draw into, so we're gonna be drawing into gas, hopefully. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. This could be Storm, which Kitesail is pretty good against. I don't like Wastelanding straight away. I like playing a Vial, so they definitely get to untap. I think if they take this Kitesail, it's a pretty big name. Yeah, okay. Tomik. Let's go Wasteland into Vial. This way, if we draw into another Wasteland and they play another non-basic, we can double Wasteland them. Yeah, this could be bad, but we have a pretty good matchup. We have a lot of good cards to draw into. I think Thalia is the best, seeing our current mana base. Another Thoughtseize, okay. You know what? At least, you know, on the bright side, these Thought Seizers aren't taking the most relevant cards in the matchup. Although Kitesail Freebooter is great, it's no Thalia, it's no Meddling Mage. Our opponent's also down to 3 cards. So if we can take them off black, I think we're going to gain a lot of time. Unclaimed Territory, okay. We'll definitely take them off Underground Sea. Play... I shouldn't have played that because it was unknown information. You play the Cavern of Souls because they know of it. And that was just a slight click of the wrist. Apologies. See, I like Cavern there because the other land might cause them to maybe Thoughtseize us once more. Just to pass back. Do we go for the old cheeky Vial activation? I think we do. I think it's always correct if they have mana open. Both of these are ticking up to 2 and 1. Oof. Deputy, not the greatest. Gonna name, probably just human. And I'm just gonna cast Tomik. I mean, Deputy of Detention's great if they're going for a empty the Warrens line. Badlands, interesting. Well, we can definitely attack first. And these are both going up again. And I think that's where they'll stop, actually. 3 and 2 seems really nice, especially with our Recruiter in the deck. I mean, they might even want to add Nors here if they are on Storm. This could just be a very slow, like, Grixis control kind of start. Or this could be something like Kolaghan's Command, which kind of gives away the deck entirely. Wow, it might be. At least if they make us discard, we have this other Vial to get rid of. What else could it be? It is. Wow, okay. And we discard. That's going to be fine. Definitely tick this one up. Wasteland. I do have the option here of taking them off red, which is kind of nice. Wow. I'm gonna activate this. They do nothing, okay. Because we have the 2 lands, I'm happy to put this Vial up to 3 now. Especially seeing we have the Deputy in hand. Another Tomik. This is a pretty weird game. Could actually be some sort of 4-color deck, and maybe they just haven't drawn the Astrolabes that they need within the deck to function. And just gonna be a throwback. I don't want to throw this Deputy out too early, so I'm gonna put this on the stack and always say no. Noble's actually fantastic draw. It plays around any sort of Diabolic Edict effect. And also just makes our clock a little bit faster into a 4-turn clock instead of a 6-turn. Rough. Kitesail's actually really nice. I'm going to attack first. And now just see what they have. And they're going to concede in response. Okay. So this is interesting. I think Jailer's fine. Pontiff seems okay. Yeah, pretty smart. I think that's actually a pretty good move. Maybe Thalia's I don't need in multiples. Revoker seems okay. It most likely seems like some sort of Planeswalker control deck. I don't mind a second Deputy. Orzhov Pontiff seems great at getting rid of things like Snapcaster Mage or Baleful Strix. So I'm going to get rid of the second Tomik because they're most likely not a Wasteland deck. I think that's really it. Knight is good. Knight does hit Strix. So does Manic Vandal, but Manic Vandal is a human. If they're on the Astrolabe version as well, then maybe it's worth bringing in Manic. And maybe that's better than even the second Thalia. Let's be honest. Let's go with this. Let's see how this goes, and if there's a third game, we can sideboard a little bit more appropriately. Because honestly, we didn't see much that game. We saw Thoughtseizers, a few cantrips, and that was really it. But this hand looks pretty nice, especially for a turn 2 Prelate, most likely naming 1. With the Thalia's Lieutenant being able to take it out of K command range, that's pretty nice. So we'll keep this. Prismatic Vista. I guess Vial would be kind of nice. Still happy just to go for Noble Hierarch here. Get my mana out. Try to get more creatures on the board. Plague Engineer is probably a card I should worry about, but with the Thalia's Lieutenant, it isn't looking like it's going to be too much of an issue, which is nice for us. Bolt's going to be fine. So I could make use of my mana and play something like Charming Prince and Scry, which I don't mind. Just to make sure I'm not drawing sort of dead vials, or even a Hierarch isn't something that I really want right now. Interesting that they're fetching in response. I don't think that'd be a stifle deck. I mean, this is a ability that can be stifled. Oh, okay. Does that change things? Maybe I actually want to go next turn Hierarch into Lieutenant, make everything bigger than a Plague Engineer, and then cast a Palace Jailer, knowing that I draw that extra land. So I don't mind that. So I don't mind put on top and then put on top. Draw the Jailer, get lucky. I kind of like Jailer there because it also plays around Thoughtseize. Ponder's great because it cuts them off playing Plague Engineer this turn. Pass back. Okay. So I think here I'm happy to... play out the Hierarch first, not using Cavern, because I think Thalia's Lieutenant is the spell that I don't want countered. Two mana, interesting. A Braid, okay. That's gonna be fine. This means this is safe now from a Playing Engineer, which is nice. And now we really just 6 in their turn. We can't really do anything. There's no point acting like we have something like Surgical. Brainstorm, okay. Interesting. Nothing. So now I can slam the Palace Jailer, or I can play the Prelate and the Mother of Runes. I think just in case of True Name, I would much rather go with the Mother of Runes line, because it's still a great line. If we can play this Sanctum Prelate on 1, it means I can't snap Bolt. Because this looks like a Snap Bolt kind of setup. But it's not. Let's name 1. And let's get in for 4. Wow, nothing? Alright. Meddling Mage. You know what, I think True Name is probably the card that I'm scared of, so I don't mind naming it with Meddling Mage here. Happy to attack with both. Get in that extra point of damage. And then, like, next turn we still have a win. The Palace Jailer would have been nice, but in our position it's not looking like it's going to really play a part anyway. Maybe our opponent's just trying to find that black mana and just couldn't find it early enough. They now have it if they need it. But is it enough? Dead of Winter? They don't have any snow basics, Jack. Come on. This has to be some sort of board wipe. Gurmag. Gurmag doesn't do it because of this Palace Jailer. So we have thankfully got a 4-1. If we can untap. Play a land for turn. Play Jailer. A little bit of patience there allowed us to actually get this, which is really nice. And we get there, which is nice. So we get a 4-1. Which isn't too bad. We'll definitely open up these chests and see what we get. The list itself felt really solid. I wasn't too sure if... I'm not too sure what I'm missing. I think if anything, it's Tarmogoyf that's a pretty big issue. So having those Reflector Mages is nice. We don't really have the luxury of being able to cast something like Rest in Peace that often. we only have Karakas and Horizon Canopy and Noble Hierarch for that. So I don't think we can play Rest in Peace, but, you know, Relic of Progenitus is something you can play because you can actually cast it off the Cavern of Souls and Unclaimed Territory as well. Yeah, let's go after these, Oh, 10. Interesting, okay. I think Ren's the best thing you can get. Scavenging Ooze isn't too bad. It's a very playable card. 5 play points is probably the lowest amount of play points you can get. Crucible of a Spirit Dragon, a very honest card. Not too good right now. Hey, Alex, thank you very much. The deck's a ton of fun to play, so if you ever have the chance to play humans, even in Modern, I'm assuming it still has some game, but it might be a little bit rough with the new metagame. But yeah, I think like Goblins, Humans has a lot of lines to it, a lot of different creatures you can cast, especially in the two mana slot. It's really a game that you're rewarded a lot by knowing what your opponent is on and what cards you have to kind of stop. So is Kitesail Freebooter enough to take one card out of the hand? Is Thalia enough to tax them for each card? Or is Meddling Mage what you want to actually stop them from casting a card entirely? Or, you know, is Tomik what you want to play so you can stop something like a Wasteland coming, or like a Hex Mage combo? Cruel Sadist, 5 play points. These boxes are Cruel Sadist in a nutshell. Come on, okay, 25 play points isn't too bad, but, you know, still, we're not looking at the best Lion's Eye Diamond. Is that worth anything? I don't think it is, sadly. Sadly not. Royal Assassin, 5 play points. I'm just going to open all of these. The 3 at once. 45 play points, and Avatar. Okay. That's fair enough. I'll stick with Maverick and Mox Diamond variants, but it was fun and helpful to see this deck for sure. Yeah, 100%. This stream will be on my YouTube, of course, at youtube.com/c/Dukes on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter at /Dukes on Twitch on Twitter. I usually stream on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which was tonight. And then also on Sunday mornings around 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to know when I go online, definitely follow me on Twitch. I definitely have a follower goal for 700 by the end of the month, which would be ace. But that is it. A huge thank you to you guys that came in and watched, to those that followed as well. Bryce, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Let me know where you're from quickly in chat. In the meantime, I'm going to find a different stream and see. There's Arkan, so we'll definitely raid Arkan, because Arkan's really, really good with his legacy content. Oh, you're from Sydney. Very cool. I know that Sydney has a very dedicated Eternal scene, so maybe not the biggest, but definitely a pretty strong group at its core. So very cool to see Sydney in chat. Let's quickly go to rating. If you're up for GP Brisbane or Magic Fest Brisbane, definitely come up, because there's a lot of legacy going on, which is nice. But that is me. A huge thank you to you guys for coming in. You moved to Modern? That's fair enough. I'll see you in Arkan stream. Cheers, guys.